Hey YouTubers, and welcome back to another Walking Dead discussion video, really more so of a theory video about what we're going to be seeing in Season 9 of The Walking Dead, and really how I think Season 9 is actually going to end in a really dramatic moment. And obviously at this point everybody knows that Andrew Lincoln's Rick Grimes is going to be leaving this season around episode 5, and a lot of speculation there is that he's going to be dying. They haven't confirmed that one way or the other, but that's usually how The Walking Dead gets rid of a lot of its characters. And I've been thinking, how is this going to shake up the overall story of The Walking Dead as they try to continually adapt the comics, even though with all these characters gone, Rick and Carl and all these other people who are still alive in the comics and are very important to the story and the characters and the situations that build around the story, how are they going to adapt it and make it make any sense? And one of the biggest things here, and definitely spoilers for the comics, if y'all don't want to be spoiled, then please, just absolutely please click off this video, comment whether you know, like what you think is going to happen or something else like that. But definitely I'm going to be getting into spoilers for the comic books. But anyway, with the comic books, we do know that Negan actually gets out of his jail cell and he makes his way to go see Alpha. Alpha is the leader of the Whisperers, who are a group of people who dress in zombie or walker guts and skin in order to blend in with the walkers, be able to walk amongst them, and they don't actually attack them. They live as animals, and obviously that includes a lot of things that Negan, over the last couple seasons, we've learned doesn't really agree with and actually punishes people for. So as he makes his way to the Whisperers, he actually has an extended dialogue scene with Alpha, the leader of them, and he ends up actually cutting her throat and cutting off her head as a present to Rick in order to show them that, yes, I am here, I want to be a part of this community, and this is my peace offering to you because this person has actually been causing you a lot of trouble and killing a lot of your friends. And that obviously can't happen now. I mean, I guess it could happen if they decide to use it with Maggie or Daryl or any other person who's going to become the leader of the communities, and they can just simply do that. But one of the things I think would be really interesting with Rick Grimes leaving this season, or possibly even dying from a Whisperer attack, it would be cool for Negan to go out there after hearing about this and having, you know, kind of sat with this idea that Rick kept me alive and he's been keeping me in this jail cell, and as we saw in the trailer, he's really the only one talking to him and everything else like that. He goes out, even after all the drama and everything that they've been through, he goes out and kills Alpha as a way of avenging Rick's death. And then he goes back to Alexandria, not to really showcase the fact that he killed Alpha, but to show everyone that he avenged Rick's death, and hopefully that this would stop the war. This to me would be a really awesome way to end Season 9. It's really unexpected and probably one of the most iconic things from the comics, and of course setting up Season 10 to be the all-out Whisperer war arc where Beta finds Alpha's body and then simply uses all the walkers to attack the communities and almost cause the destruction of everything that they've held dear and worked for over the last couple years. So that's really what I think is going to happen. It would be a really interesting way to bring Negan back into the fold and maybe even try to make him more of a sympathetic character that the main core fan base wants to see continue on this show as a main player. Because if they've done one thing wrong over the last couple years, it's making Negan too much of a cartoon character and someone that a lot of fans do not really respect or even like to see on screen. Nothing about this is Jeffrey Dean Morgan's fault. It's just the character and the way that they've decided to write him almost line for line what's going on in the comics, and it just doesn't adapt well to live action as well as it kind of plays out in comics. So that's the one thing I would really like to see. I want to see Negan go out and actually avenge Rick's death. He's not presenting a present. He's not asking to be a part of the community or anything else like that. It's just there is a little bit of respect for there with Carl, with Rick, and everything that these two have been through. I think it would be a great redemption arc and maybe even set Jeffrey Dean Morgan's Negan as one of the most pivotal people going forward in the series, and probably someone we want to see going forward in Season 10. One of the last things I want to say here is, even though they are adapting the Whisperer arc, I don't want it to take a long time. The whole Negan thing took 2.5 years, really starting at the back half of Season 6 and working all the way through Season 8. I don't want that at all. I would really like for the Whisperers to be probably the first half of Season 9, but really late in it. Build it up, the drama and everything over the last half of Season 9, and probably end it sometime halfway through Season 10 so we can jump off into the next thing. And really, my fingers are crossed for something completely original and wholly focused on the TV show. No more adapting the comics. I mean, I understand they might want to get to the Commonwealth as soon as possible, but I would really like to see a little bit more original content from this show. I think that that's when it's really at its peak, and if you have to play around with characters and motivations and major scenes and really change up and try to make us care for these characters, whether they've been on the show for one season or every season since, like, we only have Daryl and Carol left and maybe Morgan if he comes back, we're just going to have to restructure this stuff and actually tell our own stories and make us care about these characters as much as possible. So what are y'all's thoughts on that? Like, on everything, do you think Negan should avenge Rick's death by killing Alpha at the very end of season 9? Do you think that that would be a great place to really hammer home the fact that this is going to be a little bit different but still the same? Go into season 10, end it as quickly as possible, and then something completely new and original as we continue to explore Negan in a completely new respect than he was in the comics, especially with Daryl and Carol and anyone else who's alive by the end of season 9 or season 10 or anything else like that. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell over by the subscriber button to notify you every single time I upload. It's been real.